Every man and woman is a star. Yet each is of a unique type and magnitude. But how many have the wisdom to honestly recognize their particular role in the cosmos? Each individual consciousness may be likened to a black hole, a form of gravity lens. But this lens is not one that focuses and pulls in the existing components of our material universe. It is one that pulls in and focuses time. One that pulls in and focuses time. The present is an event horizon, the eternal moment in which we live. It is the domain of our awareness. That which is whirling into the whole is the yet-to-be-realized future, the events that might happen. Amongst this nebular cloud of possibility, which is finite with greater particles being more likely probabilities, are the is-to-bes that will become reality once they reach the present. These are the consciously desired future events established by the magical will of a satanic sorcerer. Once these things pass through the now, they fall into place in the linear progression that is the past of each individual. Mortal possibility becomes actuality and is frozen as the past. History is thus made. Most people's consciousness is continuously focused upon their past, the events of which are like a row of tableaux on a foggy plain, receding into the distance and becoming less clear as the present moves further away. People are thus walking backwards into their future, each step a second in time, 1 second per second. They are thus rather blind to the events that will soon come into their now and then be locked into their history as past experiences. The satanic magician attempts to turn around, to be hyper-aware so he is walking forward into the future. And before him is that swirling, smoking mirror of the possibilities that his will attempts to make actuality when they pass through the eternal now. Actuality when they pass through the eternal now. The satanic magician projects his visions for his is-to-bes upon this nebula, and they coalesce, begin to take form and definition of ever greater clarity as they move through the whirlpool and come closer to the event horizon. The important point is that the satanic magician's is-to-bes not only go through his own event horizon, but through those of certain other individuals as well, to strengthen the reality his vision creates. This is a metaphorical perspective for viewing the mechanisms of greater magic. Time travel is an attempt to look backward and bring those things that have passed and are distant in memory/time into sharper focus, to leapfrog over interim experiences and experience chosen past moments afresh. Some of these events have to tie to the eternal now of consciousness, which allows that consciousness to jump immediately to these past tableaux, skipping all other less significant events in one's linear past. cable that binds the consciousness to these ever-visible mountain peaks is emotion. Emotion apparently comes from the oldest part of the brain, that which was earliest to evolve, and is an instantaneous, instinctual, deep evaluation of a situation that is being experienced in the now. It adds what could be viewed as a color or tonality to that situation, so that it is eternally marked in the consciousness and is thus hierarchically ordered in the past. A satanic magician can thus attempt consciously to emotionally tint or harmonize events from the linear past of others, which collectively is referred to as history. By making a time travel journey to them, he may absorb them into his own past through the virtual reality experience which a rite of time travel can bring to this past event. The gateway which one must open in order to toss his east to bees into another gravity's well, is the oldest reptile part of the brain that can only be accessed via very strong emotion. In essence, greater magic, described by Dr. LeVay, is a process wherein one creates these coalescences taken from possible future events and focuses them into the one you want to happen. You must feel the need for it to happen, with the deepest emotions of which you are capable. And it is by giving vent to this need in the ritual chamber that you open the trap door and throw these is-to-be's out there into the future possibilities of other consciousnesses, to become a need that will fall into the gravity well of individuals who have a bearing on the matter, who thus will feel compelled to move their purview according to your will. According to your will. Of course, lesser magic is simply the day-to-day charm and glamour the satanic magician uses to manipulate people into doing what is wanted. In order to be successful at this, first he must be consummately skilled at reading people, to be able to determine what it is that they are seeking. The satanic magician must be willing to role-play, to be a chameleon, and an actor of exquisite skill to be able to push those buttons and throw the switches in that target individual to make him do as you desire. Some jejune people balk at that saying, "I want people to know the real me." But they fail to realize that most people are far too crass to actually see them and too narcissistic to even care. They only see what they solipsistically project on others. Satanist chooses to be protean, a person of mystery, and only those whom he really cherishes ever get to look behind the myriad mask to see the substance of the individual who sports them. Each satanic magician naturally adopts a general persona that is often reflective of chosen elements of his essence. He is satisfied with his knowledge of his personal nature, and so has no fear in adopting different guises. He is emotionally secure enough not to care that many people will know him only as the selectively projected facade. And really, why should he care if these folks have done as is required by his will? So, my fellow sorcerers, let the rabble observe your passage through their constellations, noting your magnificent gravity and superior stellar magnitude, while being dazzled into following the orbits you have plotted for them. The successful satanic magician has a presence that can sweep galaxies of lesser celestial objects in his wake. With his highly attuned awareness, he controls his own destiny by consciously selecting his desired future, motivating many satellites into roles supportive of his sublime vision of self-deification. deification.